We start off medieval times with talking about geography, and the first thing that we talk about in geography is the geographical features of East Asia. Next. So wherever you are, if you are learning about the geographical features of East Asia, it's the same thing that we're talking about. It's just, but it's for in Tennessee, it's Tennessee State Standard 701 for 7th grade. So in that standard, we're going to identify the geographical features, including China, the Gobi Desert, the Himalayan Mountains, Japan, the Korean Peninsula, Pacific Ocean, Plateau of Tibet, Sea of Japan, Yangtze River, and Yellow River. Next. So here is East Asia. So in 7th grade, when you're talking about East Asia, it is going to include China and what China influenced in medieval times. China will definitely influence Korea and Japan, and it will influence Southeast Asia. This is a China-influenced world back then. Next, sorry. So, physical characteristics. Mountains influence the region. It influences population patterns, ability of people to move, climate. Now, remember, when we talked about in 6th grade, when we talked about China, China thought they were the only civilized people in the world. Why did they think that?
Because the Himalayan mountains made them not be able to travel.
Not just the Himalayan mountains. What else?
The Gobi Desert.
Gobi Desert, the Taklamakan Desert. All of those isolated them. So they thought they were the only civilized people in the world. Okay, next. By the time you talk about this in 7th grade, China will know about the rest of the world, especially Rome. Mountains. Himalayan mountains are the tallest mountains in the world. These mountains separate India from East and Southeast Asia. Now, when we talk about East Asia next year, when you talk about that in 7th grade, it does not include India. They're not including India in that. We're just including past the mountains. Next. So there's the Himalayan mountains. The tallest mountains in the world. It's very interesting. You can look up from the desert and see snow-topped mountains. That's how tall they are. Next. There's the Himalayan mountains. Go back up. Why is it hard to breathe in this area? Because it's high up. The higher up you go, the less oxygen in the atmosphere. Good. Next. There's the Himalayan mountains again, separating modern-day Nepal and India, Bangladesh and Bhutan, Pakistan. Pakistan and India are quite a bit in the news today. Anybody heard about what's going on over there? Not very good. Next. So the 8 of the 10 tallest mountains in the world are in the Himalayas. What's the tallest? Mount Everest. Next. There they are. Imagine that. Imagine stepping out your back door. Asher, imagine stepping out your back door on a summer day, seeing trees all around, stretching, being glad it's summer and there's no school, and you can look off in the distance and see mountains with snow on them. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Next. Climate. Varied climate regions ranging from tropical, wet, to humid continental. Many natural hazards, such as monsoons, typhoons, volcanoes, and earthquakes. Next. Monsoon is a seasonal shift in the prevailing winds that influence large climate regions. We talked about this in 6th grade. The monsoon winds create the rainy season. A typhoon is a destructive tropical storm occurring in western Pacific. Now, what do we call that in Atlantic Ocean? What do we call a typhoon?
Hurricane.
We call that a hurricane. Call it a hurricane. Good. Next. The Gobi Desert. The Gobi Desert spans across Mongolia and China. You can see, I've got our map as the background. You can see up through here is Mongolia, and here's the Gobi Desert in the north. Encompassing a wide variety of terrains, including sand dunes, rocky plains, grasslands. The Gobi experiences a wide range of temperatures. In the summertime, it can get up to 113 degrees. In the wintertime or at nighttime, it can get down to negative 40. Why do you call it a desert if it gets cold?
Deserts get, even Antarctica counts as a desert.
Because it gets no what?
Water.
Because it gets no rain. Good. The name Gobi translates to waterless place in Mongolian, reflecting the desert's arid climate. Next. There's some of the Gobi Desert. Next again. There's more. There's more. The Plateau of Tibet. The Plateau of Tibet is significant for its role as a major water source in Asia, a climate regulator, and a diverse ecosystem. It's often referred to as the third pole due to its vast glaciers and snowfields, which feed major rivers like the Yangtze, the Yellow, and the Mekong, providing water for billions of people. The plateau's high altitude and unique topography also influence the Asian monsoons and global atmospheric circulation. This area in China influences a lot of the world because it's so high. And so it'll have these rivers that go. Here's the Mekong goes down into Southeast Asia. Whenever you talk about Vietnam, you'll talk about the Mekong. And then you've got the Yangtze and the Yellow rivers, which are coming through here. There's the Yangtze and there's the Yellow. Next. There's the Plateau of Tibet. Easy there. Don't go so fast. Okay. Very high up, but not as high as the mountains. This is not a mountain. It's a plateau. It's just kind of a raised, flat area. Next. Good. Next again. I need a better picture than that, don't I? Look at that. Look at these green grasslands. And then you're looking off to these deserts. Into the snow-capped mountains. Next. Here's the Plateau of Tibet. And you can see all the rivers that flow from it. A lot. Next again. The influence of water. Rivers, seas, and ocean currents on agricultural, trade, and transportation. What do you think people in the medieval times, what are they going to rely on to eat? What do you think Asian people rely on to eat? What's their staple? Trade is not a crop. What's their main crop? Rice. Rice is their main crop. Rice is going to be their main crop. Whereas if you talk about in the Middle East, in the ancient world, they're going to rely a lot on wheat. Okay, next. Important bodies of water: the Pacific Ocean, the Yangtze River, the Mekong River, the Yellow River, and the Sea of Japan. Here are the Chinese names for these rivers, but we're not Chinese, so we're going to call them what we call them. Next. The Yellow River. The Yellow River is also known as the Huanghui, is a major river in China renowned for its significance in Chinese civilization and history. The Yellow River is the second longest river in China after the Yangtze and stretches for 3,395 miles. The Yellow River is often referred to as the cradle of Chinese civilization due to its role in supporting agriculture and settlement in the region. The Yellow River is known. Why is it called the Yellow River? Go ahead, Leah. What was the silk called? Starts with an L. Anybody remember? Called Los. Los. The Los blows in from the desert and gets in the river. The Yellow River is known for the high silt load, giving it distinctive yellow cover. The silt is primarily from the Los Plateau. It's a major contributor to the river's muddy appearance. Next. There it is. Man, people drink from that. But it's not a big deal. It just looks like that. You can filter it out. It's not mud. It's not full of mud. You think that would be good when it floods? I bet it would be. Good for the land. Next. There's the Yellow River. That's so wacky. Imagine seeing that.
It looks green and orange.
It looks like when we have rivers that get a lot of rain and it gets all muddy. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, but that looks even worse.
I just think of it's normal. We have an interesting planet, don't we? A beautiful planet. Look at that. That's beautiful. Next.
Teachers Partner,
Not as good.
there will be no 8th grade tutoring today or tomorrow.
Okay, next. The Yangtze River. The Yangtze River, also known as the Xiangjian, is the longest river in China and the third longest in the world. It flows for 3,915 miles from the Tibetan Plateau to the East China Sea near Shanghai. The river is a major artery for transportation, industry, and agriculture in China. It's also home to a diverse ecosystem and various species, some of which are now endangered due to pollution. The Yangtze Basin is a crucial region for the Chinese civilization and economy, with rich history and vast population dependent on its resources. The Chinese population is far higher than ours, about 3 times the size of ours. So they have almost a billion people, or just over a billion people. We have like 380 million. Next. There's the Yangtze. Pretty cool. Next. Look at that. Next again. I wish we weren't enemies with China. I would love to visit there. Next. There it is again. Next. There it is again. Look at that road.
Looks way cleaner than the other one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Next. The Korean Peninsula. Korea, this is something that we have not talked about, that you're going to talk about next year, is medieval Korea. The Korean Peninsula is a large landmass jutting into the Pacific Ocean, extending southward from the continental Asia. So here is China, and up here in the northwest is the Korean Peninsula. It's located in Northeast Asia, surrounded by the Sea of Japan to the east, the Yellow Sea to the west, and the Korean Strait connecting the two. The peninsula is divided today into 2 countries, North Korea and South Korea. South Korea is one of our major allies. North Korea is a communist country and is run by an absolute dictator who is terrible. One is free, one is under a supreme dictatorship. Next. So here is the Korean Peninsula. That's a new little thing I learned how to do. That looks good, doesn't it? Next. There's the Korean Peninsula. Okay, so you're going to see the Sea of Japan. Why do you think you call it the Sea of Japan?
Because Japan.
It's right next to Japan, right? And there's the Yellow Sea. Why do you call it the Yellow Sea? What flows into it?
Yellow River.
The Yellow River, right. Next. There's the Korean Peninsula from space. Japan. Japan has 4 main islands, Hokkaido, Honshu, Shikoku, and Kyushu. The entire Japanese archipelago is made up of 6,852 islands. Yeah, they're all volcanic islands. Honshu sits on the junction of 3 tectonic plates, the Eurasian, North American, and Philippine plates. Japan's 3 closest neighbors are Korea, China, and Russia. Here's something interesting about Japan. Only 10% of Japan's land is suitable for farming. So where do you think people live? Just only in 10% of their entire land. Next. Here is Japan. Right there. 6,852 islands. Next. There it is. You'll notice the name when you get in high school of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Anybody know why those 2 cities are famous?
Hiroshima.
Yeah, why are those 2 cities famous? Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Pearl Harbor? And them getting like hit.
Oh my god.
No. I remember in World War II they get hit by 2 bombs. Right?
Yes, these are the only 2 cities that have ever been hit with the atomic bomb.
Yeah,
Okay.
it led up from
Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Next. There's Japan. Next. There's Japan. That's Mount Fuji, highest mountain in Japan. My brother-in-law goes to Japan all the time. He absolutely loves it. He says it's beautiful. Next. There's one other, Tokyo. Mount Fuji in the background. Next. Look at that. That's a big old mountain. It is a volcano. Yeah. Next. There's some ancient Chinese medieval buildings. Not ancient, but medieval. Next. The Sea of Japan. It is bounded by Japan and the Sakhalin Island to the east, and by Russia and Korea on the Asian mainland to the west. The area is 377,600 square miles. It has a mean depth of 5,748 feet, so over a mile deep, and a maximum depth, look here, 2.5 miles deep. That's a very deep part of the world. Next. There's the Sea of Japan. Next. There's the Sea of Japan. Sea of Japan is part of what ocean?
Pacific.
Pacific, good. Yes. Look at that.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
Very deep.
Next. Yes. Next.
What is that?
The Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is the largest and deepest of the world's 5 oceans. It stretches from the Arctic Ocean to the north to the Southern Ocean or Antarctic Ocean in the south. When I was a kid, there was only 4 oceans. We've named another one. The Antarctic Ocean, the Southern Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is known as the Ring of Fire due to the high concentration of volcanic and seismic activities. There's underwater volcanoes. Y'all know anything about those? Did you know those existed?
Yeah.
Underwater volcanoes? Yeah, when they erupt, what do they make? They make islands, right? Anybody seen Moana? You'll know anything about that. The Pacific Ocean is home to a large number of islands, including those that were once remnants of ancient volcanoes. The Mariana Trench, located within the Pacific Ocean, is the deepest point on Earth, known as the Challenger Deep. Next. There's the Pacific. Pacific Ocean is divided into 3 parts. The North Pacific, which is where we're going to have Japan, Korea, China. You know, the South Pacific, which is where you got Australia, and then you got the East Pacific, which is us.
Hey, where is Mariana Trench in the Pacific?
I'm not sure, but I'll look that up. I'm not entirely sure where it is. Next. There's the Pacific. Anybody ever seen the Pacific? Anybody ever been to California? Yeah, I've seen it, yeah. It's cold. The Atlantic, our ocean, is warm because you're getting the current up from the equator. The Pacific Ocean is cold on our side because you're getting the current down from the Arctic. So even in the summertime, they have to wear those wetsuits and stuff. Next. There's some island, just some random island. Next. Look at that. We don't say stuff like that in the Atlantic, do we? Next. There's the Great Wall of China. Talk something. Keep going. You can kind of go. There's Mount Everest. Next. There it is again. Tokyo, probably. More Mount Fuji. More Mount Everest. Just random rainbow. The end. All right. As we say always in my class, go forth and learn because knowledge is